Dirt Farmer Maggie from dirtfarmerj.com. You know, smoke detectors are a great way to protect your home and your family from a fire disaster, but they have to be changed out every 10 years. While there's no guarantees that a fire won't start in your home, smoke detectors are a great way to stack the odds in your favor. Stay tuned and I'll tell you a little bit about my personal story with a house fire, and we'll show you how to change out a hardwired smoke detector. Hey, Dirt Farmer Maggie here again. You know, before we start showing you how to change out that hardwired smoke alarm, I promised to share a little bit of my story with you, so here goes. This was 37 years ago, and I was a single mom with 3 little kids, and we had been living in apartment after apartment after apartment, and finally we found a house to rent. We were so excited. We moved into it. We had most of our stuff in the garage. We slept there overnight. We got up the next morning. I took the kids to baseball games that they were playing in, and as we came home and got into our neighborhood, I saw all this commotion going on, and there were cars everywhere. There were police cars, there were fire engines, there were even TV stations there. And I pulled up to the end of my street and I said to this police officer, "What's going on? I can't even get into my house." And he said, "Well, there's a house on fire down the street." And I said, "Which house?" And he said, "The one with the big weeping willow tree." And I thought, that's my house. Oh my gosh. I pulled my car off to the side. I told the kids to stay in the car. I ran down the street and the roof of the house had burned off, and it had fallen into the house, and everything was gone. I told you my story today because I never want to have what happened to me happen to you and your family. And one of the best ways to prevent that is to make sure that your smoke alarm is up to date and working well. So let's get going. Now we're going to show you how to replace that hardwired smoke detector. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is turn off the power for this circuit, which we've done. We've gone in the basement, flipped the circuit breaker, so there's no power here. Then we're going to dislodge this from the ring by turning to the left and bringing it down. And then this is the connector that's connecting the wires to the smoke alarm, and we're just going to jiggle that and get it unplugged. And now we've got the smoke alarm free. This is the part that you're going to discard. If you don't want it beeping in your garbage, you're going to want to take the battery out by opening this, taking the battery out, and then discharging by pushing this button until it stops beeping, and then you can throw it away and you won't have to listen to it all night.
So the next thing to do is to remove this ring that is covering the box up here. And the reason you want to do that is to give you as much room as possible to work and manipulate the wires. So we're going to go ahead and loosen the 2 screws right up here. Go ahead and pull that off. And when you do, now you've got all this up here to work with. Now, we did de-energize these, but just to be safe, just in case I made a mistake in the breaker or something like that, we're going to go ahead and test these wires to make sure they're not hot. So let's accomplish 2 things at one time here. So up here, I'm actually going to undo these wire nuts and remove the old connector and its harness, but that's also going to expose these wires where I can use this electrical tester to make sure that we have no energy flowing in these wires. Let's get to it. Okay, we now have these 3 wires all done. The colored wire is for the interconnect system in this. We'll tell you about that a little bit more in a moment. But this is the power. This is the hot and the neutral. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 lead on the hot, 1 here, and we have no power. Let's try it one more time. You'd see a neon light come on here, and that indicator would jump if we had power. Nothing is happening. And you can see here what it would look like if we did have power running through it when we put it into an outlet. So we're working safe. Okay, so this is the replacement connector and harness for the new model that we're putting up there. And it's really simple. You just connect black to black, white to white. And in this case, we do happen to have red wires hanging out of the box. That's what the electrician used. Although your wiring may have a different color wire for what's called the interconnect system. The interconnect system allows one single smoke alarm to detect and then inform, so to speak, the other ones on the floor using this wire. If you do not have a colored wire, in this case it happens to be a red one, it could be blue, it could be green, it could be anything other than the black and white hanging out. If you don't have that, do not connect this red wire to anything. You will cause a short or damage the equipment. It comes capped from the factory this way with a little safety cap. In this case, we are going to use it. But let's go ahead and wire this up. And again, we don't have any power flowing through here, so we're just going to line that up right there, same length. Run this right beside it and twist to the right till it bottoms out very nicely. And then what you want to do is test each time. So by holding here and tugging here to make sure that it doesn't tug out and it's securely connected. Now we're simply going to go to the white wire. Same idea. Just run it down a long line here, the same length, till it's even right at the end. Slip the connector up over it. Twist until you feel everything bottom out and it stops rotating. We're almost there. Okay, again, I'm going to tug. That is good and solid. That only leaves our interconnect wire. So what we're going to do here is pull off the little safety right there. Comes right off. We're ready to go. We'll just simply put it in line just like we did the others. Right here. Slip the wire connector up over and twist it until it quits rotating. Now the new connector and its harness is securely attached to the house wiring, the power circuit, and the interconnect system. We're going to now stuff these wires back up in there, and these happen to be 12 gauge wire, so they're a little bit stiff, and that's the reason why we pulled that ring off there so that we have this larger opening to work with. Let's go ahead and tuck these back in. Okay, now that these are all flush up here, let's go ahead and install the new ring over this.
Just tighten them until they're snug.
All right, now we're just going to reverse the steps that Dirt Farmer Maggie showed you a little while ago. Here we have the connector with its harness all connected in the house power and the interlock or the interconnect system here. And so what we're going to do is take this connector, which only fits one way, and we're going to put it onto the back of this. And these can be a little bit persnickety. Believe me, I've tried multiple times. There we go. When it clicks in, you can actually tug, and you should tug to make sure this is connected and will come out. Now, because the circuit's off and the battery has not been energized yet by pulling out this activation tab, notice the status light. Well, it ain't a light. There's nothing there. This is just a dead unit at this point. So what we're going to do is go ahead and carefully put those wires back up. You don't want them laying over the top here. And then we're going to rotate this around in the base until it locks. And there it is. It's ready to go. Let's go turn on the power and you'll see what changes up here. We've now turned the power back on, and as you look under here, you can see there is a green status light, meaning house power is to it. But this will chirp about every 30 to 45 seconds, indicating, there we go, indicating there is no battery power to it yet, and that's because we haven't pulled the tab. So the last thing to do is pull that tab out, and if we open the door, you can see the battery in there, and now it is activated. We still have a little bit of it where it's chirping, where it's getting powered up here, but it is now fully protected. So we'll go ahead and close it, and we have now completed the job. If you found this video to be helpful, please like it, and better yet, subscribe to our channel. When you do, ring the bell so that every Friday you'll get notified another great video out there. And while you're at it, remember to look for upcoming safety videos on all sorts of safety devices around the house, hosted by Dirt Farmer Maggie. And check out our merch store at dirtfarmerj.com. Great hats, great shirts, great coffee mugs. Until the next time, this is Dirt Farmer J and Dirt Farmer Maggie behind the camera for a few moments from dirtfarmerj.com. Thanks for watching.